Yung ituturo ko sa inyo, medyo advanced na siya. Sabi ko nga kay Nico kanina, if you're aiming to become parang OBM, medyo may part na to ng pagiging OBM. Kasi when I created this for my client, tuwang-tuwa din siya. Kasi parang, alam mo yung parang yung vision nila na may make mo into life. So, Business Planning Clinic, pwede nyo ito makita sa YouTube. Ipapanood ko na sa inyo yung introduction ng economic model para sila na lang yung mag-i-explain. Tapos mamaya, may ipapakita ko sa inyong tool na po pwede ninyong magamit if you have your agents na. Yes, so play ko na tong video, tapos after explain ko sa inyo.
Hello everyone, this is John DiMartino, Assistant Team Leader and Productivity Coach at Keller Williams Realty in Coral Springs. Today we're going to talk about the economic model of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. This material actually comes directly from the Business Planning Clinic. This is a course that's offered by KW University and offered at the Market Center every year in about October or November. The economic model, or determining the economic model, will actually help us to determine how many appointments, buyer appointments and seller listing appointments, that we need to go on each year in order to hit our annual goal. Now, understanding how many appointments we need is actually the second part of the business planning process, with the first part being the GPS or the 135, where we're actually going to determine what our goal is and how many, what the activities and the strategies and the initiatives that we'll need to do, that we're committing to do throughout the year in order to achieve that goal. So let's dive right in. This is the economic model from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So in order to understand the economic model, we're going to have to go over a couple different terms. The first is obviously our gross close income or the gross commission income. And this is obviously what our commission is. The commission is that we're going to get on our checks. This is going to be before our split, before our company dollar is paid, before our royalty is paid, and so forth. All right. The company dollar, and the royalty is actually going to be what's called our cost of sales. All right. And the cost of sales is also going to be the amount of money paid to a listing specialist. If your team is grown to the point where you need a listing specialist, that person's salary will actually come from here as a cost of sale. Also, the commission split paid to a buyer specialist that's on your team, as well as any referral fees, like I said, those royalties, and anything that you do pay the company. So that $23,000 company dollar and royalty cap is going to come from through the cost of sales. All right. The next term we need to understand is the operating expenses. Now, these operating expenses is going to be all the other costs associated with doing business, including your marketing, your rent, salaries, equipment, supplies, advertising, etc. So what we're going to do is take our gross commission income. We're going to deduct the cost of sales, our operating expenses, and that's going to get us our net income or our profit. This is the amount of profit, the profit or sales that your business earns after all the expenses are paid.
Mas maiintindihan nyo ito mamaya kasi may ipapakita siyang chart. And then ako din later, ipapakita ko siya sa inyo sa spreadsheet para mas maintindihan nyo siya, ha? Pero kaya sabi niya, cost of sales. So sometimes kasi diba, for example, you're a listing specialist, and for you to be able to sell the property, kailangan mo din ng buyer specialist, diba? Not unless you're a dual agent. So meron tayong mga babayaran doon, meron tayong mga broker split, lalo kapag from Keller Williams, katawag nila doon royalty split. So operating expenses, syempre kung for example meron kang social media manager, so yung mga salary nun, pag-advertise, paggamit nyo ng FB ads, yan. So nandiyan siya. So ima-minus nyo yung GCI nyo, yung gross closed income, so cost of sales, tsaka operating expenses, yun yung magiging net income ng client ninyo. So, ayun. Tuloy natin. Para mas maintindihan ninyo, dahan-dahan lang tayo. If you have any questions, just let me know para ma-explain ko siya sa inyo in Tagalog para mas maintindihan. Okay?
A lot of agents will actually, when I'll ask them what are their goals, a lot of agents will always, come up and say, John, I have a goal of making $100,000 this year. All right, but clarity is power. So we need to understand, what is that $100,000? Is that $100,000 before their expenses? Is it after their expenses? Is it the profit? Is that after taxes and so forth? All right. So it's good to understand all these terms. Definitely needs to know those, because really that's what's going to differentiate a gross closed income or gross commission income and the expenses. I'm sorry, the profit that we actually get to take on vacation with us at the very end, our profit. It is also really important to note personal expenses are not included in this exercise. Okay, so two of the things that we can control, in areas that we want to really focus on throughout the year is the number of appointments, buyer appointments and seller appointments that we're going on, as well as our conversion rates. We want to know what our conversion rates are, how those conversion rates look. We want to keep tracking those conversion rates. So how many telephone dials does it need? Do you need to make in order to get a live answer? How many live answers or how many contacts do you need to make in order to schedule an appointment? How many appointments do you need to schedule in order to actually go on those appointments? How many appointments will actually turn into a contract? And how many of those contracts actually result in a closed sale? So all these conversion rates are numbers that you should track, that you should know, and they should focus on constantly improving on these conversion rates. All right, so this is an overview of the skeleton, the bare bones of the millionaire real estate agent economic model. Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to connect the dots between the numbers as well as the key activities that lead to closed sales.
Kaya pa? Na-absorb pa? So, mamaya, hindi naman siya ganun kahirap kasi sa spreadsheet, meron naman na tayong formula. Okay, so kayo masyadong matakot. So, pakita ko siya sa inyo later.
All right, now to do this, we're going to flip the model. Millionaire real estate agents don't let their current activities dictate their future income. They set a net income goal and then let that number dictate their activities. All right, so we're going to be working in reverse. We're going to start out with saying, how much profit do I want to make? And then we'll work reverse engineer and work our way back from there. So this model will actually begin with your net income goal. Okay. And then what we're going to do from there is add our expenses and our cost of sales to that number. Remember, we're working in reverse. So we're going to add our cost of sales and our operating expenses to our income or profit goal in order to determine what our total gross commission income is. All right. And then once we get that number, we're going to divide that number by the average commission earned in order to figure out how many units we actually need to sell throughout the year. Okay, so in this example, we talked about the millionaire real estate agents. We're actually going to look at $1 million. We're actually going to look at what it would take to net $100 million. I'm sorry, $1 million in profit on the entire year. Now, MREA also tells us that the profit or our net income should be about 40% of our total GCI. So if we're profiting less than 40%, we probably we're spending too much money and we need to trim some fat elsewhere in order to net about 40%. And if we are profiting more than 40%, that's great. And we don't want to net too much because that means we might be not spending enough money or leaving money on the table where we can actually make more money. So we want to keep it around that 40% total net income. All right. So we're going to assume that the 40% net income that we're looking for is about $2.5 million in total GCI. All right. So we're going to need to earn about $2.5 million in total GCI. That's going to include $750,000 for operating expenses, which is about 30% of our total GCI. And another 30% for our cost of sale. So we're going to assume our budget for another $750,000. Okay, and that's how we came up to.
Bigyan ko kayo ng yung pinapakita niya. Kita niyo to, guys. Ayan. So this is MREA Economic Budget, P&L, Profit and Loss Worksheet. So, ito siya. Sabi nga dyan, di ba, meron na tayong formula. So, kagaya sabi niya kanina, kung ang net income na gusto, for example, tatanungin ko si Alisa, yung agent mo, Alisa, magkano yung gusto niyang i-earn for 2023, sa buong 2023. Let's just assume na gusto niya 1 million. For sure, naman talaga hindi. 'Di ba? Lalo kung small time agent lang or isa lang siya, wala pa siyang team. Pero let's assume na yun, 1 million. So pag lumabas yung 1 million dito guys, meron na agad formula dito kung magkano siya. Okay, o sabihin natin 500. Kasi baka sabihin nyo, yun yung nakalagay dun sa video coach. So ayan siya, nandito na siya. Okay, so ang gagawin nyo na lang is ita-transfer nyo siya dito. P75. So, ito na siya, di ba? So, yung magiging total gross income is 1.2 M for this year. 1.2 para kumita ka ng 500 net. Okay, wala na tong bawas. So, nabawas mo na dito yung expenses tsaka cost of sale. Pero, ang magiging income mo talaga is 1.2. So, average commission amount in every state, it's different. So, you have to ask your agents. Dapat alam nila to kung magkano yung average commission sa state nila, sa city nila, iba-iba siya. So, let's just assume na ang average commission dun sa area ng client ninyo is 12,500. So, dapat meron silang 100 total sold units for the year 2023. Okay? And for them to be able to do that, according to MREA, dapat 50-50 split tayo. 50-50 sa listing side, 50% sa buyer side. So, dapat meron tayong total appointment na 7 or around 8 appointments for listing side per month to. Kapag buyer side, at least mga 9 appointments per month. And then per week, ito din siya. So, it will be easier for you na i-hold accountable yung mga agents ninyo. Do you have at least 2 appointments, 2 listing appointments this week, 2 buyers appointment this week para on par tayo sa goal natin for 2023. Ano sa tingin niyo yung importance? Bakit kailangan ninyong may ganito as a real estate VA? Mahirap i-measure yung loss and generated income kapag walang report. Yep. So, it's gonna help you as a real estate VA. Second thing is, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, this is where you can hold them accountable. Okay, so pag nangungulit ka every single week, for example, for Claire, uy client, meron ka na bang 2 appointments for this week? Alam mo kung ilan dapat yung appointments na meron si client mo for the month. Pag sinabi nilang, bakit ba ang kulit-kulit mo, diba? Because you want to be on par sa goal mo, diba? So you want to have 500 net income eh. So, saan tayo pwedeng mag-focus? Kapag meron kayo nito, you know kung saan ka makaka-help out sa business ni client, you know kung saan mo sila maku-hold accountable sa actions nila. Kasi sometimes talaga, lalo pag end of the year and beginning of the year, puro holiday season yan. So, wala sa focus yung mga clients ninyo, believe me or not. Hindi nila alam yung goal nila. Normally, we set planning sessions every October. So, imi-meet nila kayo ng October. Alam na nila to, this is set in stone. But, pagkadating ng December, January, wala na. Hindi na nila matandaan yung goal na sinet ninyo. And if you have this, you will be able to kulitin sila kung paano yung mga dapat nilang gawin, ano yung mga kailangan nilang gawin every single month, every single week. So, another thing that I'm gonna be showing you guys is ito, yung business planning clinic tool template that you can use for your client. So this one, I just created this for one of my clients. Natuwa siya dito kasi alam mo yung madali sa inyo na mag-report every single month or kung weekly ang reporting ninyo, madali din. So, ano yung mga naka-include dito? So, you have your overall report here. I already mentioned to you kung ano yung KW command. So, how many leads? Diba sabi kanina dun sa video, dapat alam niyo yung conversion rate ng clients niyo, right? How many calls bago maging appointment? How many appointment bago maging pirmahan ng contract? How many contract yung pipirmahan bago maging closed deal? So, dapat alam niyo yung conversion rates ng clients ninyo. Okay? Facebook leads, because we can get leads from Facebook, diba? Through ads, through organic nurturing, MailChimp, dahil gumagawa tayo ng mga newsletters, dapat meron din kayo ng how many po yung unsubscribe, how many yung bounce email. Alam nyo ba kung paano siya kukunin? Diba? D2D tracker, I know I mentioned this in the database management na teaser. So, ilang tao yung nakausap ng clients ninyo for the week? Diba? Anong mga names yon? Meron tayo, diba, nung ANW. Hindi ko alam kung natatandaan nyo pa. BME. So, yan yung mga names na pinapasa ninyo every single week sa mga clients ninyo. Listings. So, ito, makikita nyo dito kung on par ba kayo sa economic model na ginawa ninyo kay client. Kung dapat, how many buyers and sellers yung meron kayo for the month of January. So, dapat meron kayong around 8 and 9. Kapag hindi, babawiin nyo yun for the following month hanggang sa babawiin ninyo hanggang umabot kayo ng December. Diba? So, again, virtual assistants, if you want na hindi kayo kagaya ng ibang REVA na nag-work for the clients just to get salary, this is how you can differentiate yourselves sa iba. Yung iba walang pakialam. Kung ano lang yung iuutos sa inyo ng clients niyo, yun na yun. That's just your task. But if you want to be different, if you want na mas lumaki ang salary niyo, ganito kayo umatake. Dapat. So, team events, your clients will have several team events. Kaya siya 3 yung registration kasi possibly in a month, meron kayong iba't ibang events. For example, may pop-up buys, meron kayong small events lang, meron kayong big events. So, at least 3 yung ginawa ko dito para just in case. Let them feel na may pakialam ka sa company. Yes, that's true. Kasi dyan nila kayo i-value. And then, vendor list. These are, for example, meron tayo, diba, sa lore newsletter, meron tayong mga fini-feature na vendor. So, dapat nilalagay nyo din siya dito. And sometimes, yung clients, nilalagay yung mga vendor list sa website nila. So, for example, meron akong client na naghahanap ng mortgage lender. Since meron naman na akong vendor na mortgage lender, I can recommend that mortgage lender sa client ko na naghahanap. Kaya lugi si client, talo ka rin, dapat alisin na yung employee mindset sa pag-VA. That's true. You are different na, hindi na siya kagaya sa corporate na nag-aantay ka lang ng task na sasabihin ng client mo. Dito, kapag nag-work ka as a REVA or as a VA, and if you want to be different, dapat kayo na mismo yung nagsasabi kay client ano yung kulang. Dapat partners kayo. Dapat you are working with the client, not for the client. Okay? Meron tayong D2D tracker dito. So, for example, you have to ask your agents, diba? How many conversations do you have last week or this day? May conversation ka na ba this day? Ilang tao yung na-connect mo through text, through social media, yung nagkaroon kayo ng two-way conversation. Meron ba akong pwedeng ilagay sa command na in-nurture natin to cultivate, diba? How many appointments yung naset mo? Nag-Zoom ba kayo? Pinuntahan mo ba siya sa house? Diba? Meron ba kayong connected contacts na kailangan kong i-add sa command? Diba? Proactive every single time. Again, if you want to differentiate yourselves from other people, this is how you do it. I have here some touch plans because one of my agents asked this to me. How many times na tinatouch yung isang lead in a year? So, pwede nyo din siyang gawa ng ganito. Pwede pa kayong mag-add ng mga events nila if they have events. So, pwede nyo din idagdag dito. Production tracker. Ito kasi yung sa client ko. So, for example, so my client has 625 yung total net income na gusto nilang kitain. And for them to be able to do that, ayan, diba? Ito yung average commission sa kanila. Diba? Kailangan nilang magbenta ng 125 units for 2023. And dapat, in a month, meron kaming at least 10 listing appointments and 11 buyers appointments. So, sila, medyo malaki na kasi yung team nila. They have 2 buying agents. Sila yung nagpo-focus sa mga buyer side. Tapos yung 2 agent is for listing naman. So sa kanila medyo malaki-laki na yung team. Okay? So ayan. Dito nyo naman ilalagay lahat ng mga active. Kasi for sure, sasabihin nila sa inyo yan eh. Alin yung mga active listings for the week. Kasi gagawan nyo yan ng just listed, under contract. Diba? Yan yung mga gagawin ninyo. So, kailangan nakalagay siya dito. Kailan yung listing date, kailan yung expiration ng date. So, normally, listings are 6 months. Depende sa usapan nila ni seller. Diba? 6 months to 1 year. So, after 1 year, kaya meron tayong mga expired listings. After 1 year, pag hindi mo nabenta yung property, it will be an expired listing. Right? So, ibig sabihin, anong hindi mo nagawa as a listing agent but hindi mo siya nabenta? But hindi mo nabenta the property. Yes, so yes, yun siya. Yun yung ibig sabihin. Madami sa inyong nag-i-aim mag-PC. So, eto makikita nyo to sa mga contracts. Right? Original list price. Meron ditong pending. Tapos, even yung closed sales address. Para by the end of the year, you know kung anong mga addresses yung closed, diba, for the entire year. Vendor list, I've mentioned this earlier. Kung kanina, naka-numbers lang siya, how many vendors yung na-feature natin for the month, dito, talagang nakalagay siya, sino yung first and last name, sino yung contact person natin sa company na yun, ano yung phone number nila, ano yung email address nila. Dapat dito, very detailed na siya. And you have to input this in your KW command. So, it will be easier for your clients na ma-pull sila from command. For example, they just want to send a thank you email by the end of the year or possibly send them a small gift. So, pwede mabilis sa iyo na i-pull yung information and send it to your clients. Marketing calendar. So, this one I did for my clients kasi nga, normally you will have a business planning session by October. So, by October, per month, dapat alam nyo na kung ano yung mga events. And at the same time, for you as a VA, dapat, for example, October, January, alam mo na kung ano yung event, diba? So, dapat pinaprepare mo na yung marketing materials ahead of time to be able to send it to your clients for review and approval. Again, proactive. Hindi kayo mag-aantay ng buwan na yon bago kayo gumawa ng marketing material para ipasa sa client, para ipa-review, ipa-approve, tapos nung month na yon ka lang din magpapa-approve, paano kung matagal silang mag-reply? So, madedelay yung project. Right? So, mas madali kapag meron na kayong ganito and pinapasa nyo na lang kay clients, reminding them that these are for your review and approval na. Okay, you can put here links na pwede nilang makita kung anong itsura ng mga materials na ginagawa mo for them. May notes din dito if it's canceled. For example, this event that we had, it needs to be canceled kasi during that time, sobrang lakas ng storm. So, for sure, walang a-attend ng event na yon. But at least, I'm ready, diba? Meron akong materials na sinubmit for the clients. And then lastly will be client reviews. So, one of the touch plans is review and referral quarterly. So, of course, we want to ask reviews and referral. And ayaw naman natin masendan yung mga past clients na nakapag-send na sa atin ng review. Kasi syempre, parang ang dating nun, ay hindi mo binasa yung review ko. Diba? So, parang hurtful yun kapag ganon. So, as much as possible, we want this na nandito na. Tapos, nakalagay yung channel, saan ba siya nag-review? Sa Facebook ba? Sa Google Reviews ba? Sa Realtor.com ba? Sa Zillow ba? Saan siya nag-leave ng review? Para hindi na mahirap sa'yo every single year, nagagawa ka pa ng ganitong klase ng spreadsheet para lang tanungin ng client sa inyo. 'Di ba? So, at least kapag nagtanong si client sa inyo, ilang reviews na nga ulit meron tayo, mas madali sa'yo mag-pull kasi you have your spreadsheet na ng mga information na yun. Nag-review ba sa akin si Alisa? Nag-review ba sa akin si Nico? 'Di ba? Saan siya nag-review? 'Di ba? Saan siya nag-leave? 'Di ba? So, it will be easier for you kung meron kang ganito. Okay? So, ayun siya. Thank you everyone. Have a great day. Bye!